There's someone in the garden.
Imogen, stay here. Friend of yours?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 thriller Everyone is Going to Die. The film is written and directed by Craig Tue, and it stars, we have Gladys Arthur, Brad Moore, we have Kiara Diana and Jamie Winston. Right, the film focuses on a father and daughter initially. The daughter, Imogen, is turning up to her dad's for her 16th birthday. They don't really get on. She's a typical 16-year-old, you know, he's split from her mother. So it's a pretty cold reception. And in the midst of all this, there is a stranger in the garden with a mask on, which is, you know, concerning and confusing to them. And then somebody else bursts into the house with a shotgun, takes them hostage, and what follows is a night of horror, terror, as the father, Daniel, has to confront the demons of his past, and he has to do them and confront them begrudgingly in front of his daughter. Right, what are my thoughts on Everyone is Going to Die? Well, I'm going to be really honest here. Like you're probably thinking now, it's just a standard, you know, home invasion film. And that's exactly what I thought as well. Going into this, I just thought, oh, it's just another home invasion film. You know, you've got the usual thing, people in scary masks, intimidating, you know, going in, causing chaos, blah, 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 fight for survival, so on and so forth. That's just what I thought this film was going to be. However, what you think you're going to get with this film is not really what you get. Okay, yes, at the very core of this film, it is a home invasion film. But it absolutely isn't your typical home invasion film. And what I like about any genre film, and I'll be honest, generally speaking, home invasion films I'm not a big fan of, because like I say, you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. So I'm never in a massive rush generally to watch a home invasion film. So I was expecting this just to be a standard one. So I was really quite taken aback with how this film kind of subverts your expectations, if you like. And as I was saying, I love it when the films kind of do that, genre films. You know, they give you one thing, or they show you one thing and then they give you something else. Those can sometimes be my favourite type of films, you know, where they kind of flip you at a certain point in the film, or they give you a good old slap across the face at the end of the film that you don't expect, and it puts a whole new meaning on the rest of the film, and you're kind of like, oh, now I get it, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. And this film is very, very much like that. It shows you a very, very typical home invasion film to start with, and then, you know, as the film slowly unfolds and the curtain starts to lift, you get something very, very different by the end. And it becomes a very dark and twisted film in many aspects. There are some difficult moments in this film. There are some difficult scenes. And it's not, like I say, it's got a much more deeper meaning and a much more powerful thing to say by the end of the film, which I like. I like that in any film, sort of thing, where they do that sort of thing. And it's what's good about this film as well is you know there's just something not right, in a sense of why these people are there, and they're not your typical home invaders. It's two women basically. One keeps the mask on and one takes the mask off. It seems like there's one that's the ringleader and another one that's kind of more quieter one. And you kind of like, well, it's quite clear that the father, played by Brad Moore, Daniel, is a bit of a ruthless businessman, I suppose you could say. Obviously he's not very connected to his daughter. He's split with his ex because he cheated on her, which he explains in the film, and so he doesn't come across in this film as a decent fellow. So, and the things that these home invaders are kind of saying and hinting at why they're there, all will be revealed, type of thing, as they keep saying. In everything will be explained. You'll understand everything, sort of thing. And you're kind of like, okay, well, it's got something to do with him. You're just not sure what. And then when you find out, it's like, oh, right. And even though you have this inkling in your head what it is, it then kind of takes it to another level visually that's very, very difficult to watch. And just as you get that bombshell, there's another shock, and then an even bigger shock straight after it. It just keeps rolling and giving you punches and slaps and stuff, and it's just like, and your jaws kind of dropping. You're just trying to process everything that the film it's telling you. So it kind of bubbles along. You get the usual, back and forth, where the father gets on top at one point in a sense of, overpowering them, and then they get back on top. There's injuries taking place, there's violence, there's death, there's all sorts of stuff going on. So you get all that back and forth stuff as you expect to see in a home invasion film. And then you get to slowly see it kind of shift into something else, a very dark and impactful, shocking film by the end. So I'm pleased to say that this really did prove to be a bit of a surprise for me. It's a tough film to watch at times, but I think for fans out there who really do enjoy home invasion films, and for those of you who appreciate it when filmmakers give you a different spin on a genre film like they do here. But be warned, there are some powerful moments in this film that will be difficult for you to watch. I certainly found them difficult. I wouldn't describe them as graphic, just impactful and difficult, and hard-hitting. And this turned out to be a far more hard-hitting film than I expected it to be. So I'm happy to say I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I think it could be a little bit of a dark horse in regards to home invasion films, but it's one I would recommend to you guys if you're a fan of that, for sure. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you've seen this film, do you agree with me? If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. You are most welcome to join the community. And don't forget to like the video and comment as always. So thanks very much.